Onto this now. Shamila Batohi must face an inquiry into her fitness to hold office. That's the view of one constitutional law expert. Accountability Now Director Paul Hoffman says the National Director of Public Prosecutions has failed to act against two senior prosecutors exposed as criminals in the damning Kock report. Hoffman says Batohi should account for this, and let's speak to Advocate Hoffman now, who joins us from Cape Town. Advocate, good morning to you. Before we talk about Shamila Batohi and why you're calling for her to be probed as to whether or not she's fit for that office, talk to us briefly first about these two Northwest prosecutors. Are you able to name and shame them, and what is it that they did?
Yes, I certainly am. A morning to you. The two are Advocate Kock, who was the DPP, the leader of the prosecution service in KwaZulu-Natal, and has since on Shamila Batohi's watch been transferred to the Northwest, which is where she comes from, I'm told. And the other one is Advocate Mayema, who worked at head office of the NPA in Pretoria until he too was transferred back to his home province. The problem is that these transfers took place at a time when Advocate Batohi had possession of the Kock report, and in that report, which was looking into the question of whether the Cato Manor death squad prosecution should be dropped or not, they were dropped. But in that, it emerged that there'd been forgery, that there'd been lying, cheating and stealing in order to spike the guns of General Johan Boysen and the Hawks of KwaZulu-Natal, who were hot on the heels of Jacob Zuma's state capture pals.
Yeah.
Now, knowing that these allegations are there, the transfers took place. No disciplinary proceedings have been instituted, and when asked about it on Sunday evening in the Daily Maverick webinar, the National Director of Public Prosecutions had the good grace to blush when she explained that she's not doing anything about these rotten apples in her basket until the Zondo Commission gives its report. Now, that is absolute nonsense, and it is not the way to clean up the hollowed-out National Prosecuting Service. It is not the way to act without fear, favour or prejudice, and it is certainly not the way to enable the prosecutors to get on and prosecute those corrupt persons who were involved in state capture.
Now, Advocate, let me interrupt you there, and I'm sorry to cut in. Some are going to say she only took office in December of 2018. She's in the process of cleaning up the prosecuting authority. And are you being fair to her, and are you being impatient, perhaps, with her when it comes to following up and especially getting rid of rotten apples?
Well, the trouble is that 2018 was a long time ago, and you will see that very little has been done either to clean up the NPA or to hold the corrupt to account. And the reason for that is that the leadership of the NPA is not getting on with the job. And they can make a million excuses. A lot of the excuses are very well founded. There is a problem because nobody wants to work for the NPA anymore. There is a problem because the NPA is short-staffed. There is a problem because they have no artificial intelligence to use. They have no highly skilled and experienced prosecutors who can hold down a complex corruption case. Having said all of that, you are not going to be heading in the right direction if you know that the leadership of your Northwest office is polluted with bad apples and you just allow them to stay there on the miserable excuse that you are waiting for Judge Zondo to tell you what to do with them. That isn't leadership. That's passing the buck. That's fudging, and it's not good enough. It's not too late if Batohi reconsiders her position, and if she starts at least disciplinary proceedings, if not prosecutions, because the Kock report gives evidence, prima facie evidence, of corrupt activities by both of these senior prosecutors. You can't possibly fix the NPA if you allow bad apples to continue to roll around on the upper deck. That's the problem that we have.
All right, Advocate Hoffman, I think you make a very strong case, and I think it's only fair for this channel to put the notice out there for Shamila Batohi's right of reply. The allegations are being made against you, NDPP. It is your turn to come and respond to Advocate Hoffman. Advocate Hoffman, thank you very much for your time. Let's take a quick look now at the market indicators. I don't know how you feel about that. Perhaps before we take the market indicators.
Yeah.
Shamila Batohi, under pressure.
Under pressure.
Understandably so. But is it time for her to go?
I mean, if you remember, even with the VBS announcement of some of the breakthroughs that they've made, South Africans were saying, we want action, we want action. There seems to be, a lack of patience when it comes to holding those who are responsible for corruption in this country accountable. And this dating years back. Yeah. So the country has gone through different NDPPs. No results, at least, have been seen so far in terms of arrests, in terms of any money being paid back that has been, looted. So I sense that impatience there coming from most South Africans.
All right. Well, let's take a quick look at your market indicators now.